Connected to Pilot Edge.
Hi everybody, happy Friday and welcome back to the cockpit. I am Charles and I'm happy to be flying with you. We're flying the Phenom 300, one of Embraer's finest and one of my favorites to fly. We're an XP12, which I've been playing with a little bit here and there and getting used to it. Microsoft Flight Simulator still got my heart, but XP12 can let you do a few things and a few planes you can't do in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this Phenom 300 implementation is the best. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. Let's bring up the tablet and we'll talk about the flight we're going to do from Sun Valley, Idaho to Redmond, Oregon. It's going to be a westbound flight. We're going to be flying at 30,000 feet. I took a look at the profile view. It's good winds today. We're going to do a real quick check on icing, which I don't expect to see. Conditions here really aren't that bad. Looks like there might be some turbulence, but we're actually staying at a level where we're not going to get into the worst of it. We can always ask for a lower level if we need to, and that's just fine. And if we're going to be dealing with any clouds today, yeah, we're actually going to be in clouds. We may ask for a lower level if we need to see or get out of the turbulence. But for now, prioritizing speed. Flight level 300 is the way to go. We're going to be expecting to be given an instrument departure out of Sun Valley. We depart runway 13. They don't do departures northbound because of the terrain. So we'll be departing southbound to make a turn here at HLE. Excuse me. And then on to the Victor 444 Airway, intercept at the Boise VOR. And then on the Victor 500 Airway, all the way to IMB, which is the Kimberly VOR, and then to the Deschutes VOR, which is right next to Redmond, and set us up for the approach. So it should be fairly straightforward. It's telling us we need 1,500 pounds of fuel, so I'm going to go ahead and bring on about 25% more than that. I've already filed my flight plan, so we're ready to activate, so let's go ahead and get right into it together. This is the bird, this is the beast. It's a beautiful, beautiful plane, and we're going to get right into the good stuff. All right, everybody's got what they need here. Get yourself a beverage. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Batteries are coming up. I'm going to move left to right, left, then up, then down to the center console to do our startup procedures. So we're going to go ahead and get oxygen up and running. Battery 2, generators are on. Bus tie is set to auto. I'm going to set cross bleed for bleeds now, but won't turn bleeds on until we fire them up. I always do this stall test because it's the thing in the cast that gives me a problem if I don't. This looks good. Enter soft key to continue. Feels good to me. Okay, crossfeed pumps are on. Hydraulic pumps are open. Make sure that we're fueled as expected. Ground. So again, they want us to take 1,500 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and take 2,000 pounds. So we're going to pump up one of those tanks and hit balance, which is 1,000. Good. Okay, we're fueled. That was the fastest fueling in the West. Okay, we're not playing with any heating yet, and I don't think we're going to need any of that protection. Let's go ahead and make sure throttles are all the way down. They are. Engine igniters set to on. And engine 1 start. All right, we're watching here. Igniters are on. We're watching N2 spin up, and we have positive N1. ITT is coming up. Engine has kicked off. Excellent. And we have positive pressure. Good deal. Engine 2. Positive N1. And temperatures are stable. Good. And bleeds on. Cross feeds to auto. Igniters to auto. And ECS pressurization is on. Mode auto. Cockpit fans up. Lights on. Let's get these doors closed. And we'll calculate takeoff flaps 1, V speeds, and send to the PFD. Looks like rotate at 96 knots. One 28225. Let's get the weather.
Information.
10, gust 18.
Whoa.
Visibility 10.
Blah.
Sky condition clear. Temperature 22. Dew point
Who am I listening to?
3021. Arriving runway 31. Departing runway 13. Visual approaches in use. Read backhaul runway assignment and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Who knows which it is?
Haley Friedman Memorial Airport. This information Sierra. 1955 Zulu. Wind 120 at 10. Gust 18. Visibility 10.
Little bit of wind today.
Clear.
Okay,
Temperature
clear skies.
22. Dew point 2. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 1. Departing runway 13. Visual approaches in use. Read call runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Information Sierra. Okay. Good deal. And we want to call Haley ground. So let's get the plates out real quick. KSUN and K Redmond airports. Ground control 121.7. Cool. And let's go ahead and get back here. We're going to set 30.21. I actually flew in here yesterday and it wasn't that different, so that's good to hear that we have pretty stable conditions. And we look outside. Do we concur that skies are clear? Yes, we concur that skies are clear, so we know that we're not listening to a bogus ATIS or anything. I'm going to do a little bit more configuration here before we call for our IFR clearance. Bzzz. Gonna climb at 225 knots, so I like to set that speed bug straight away. I'm gonna go ahead and put flaps at 10 and pitch trim at 8.2, so I don't have to think about it later. And we know we're gonna get runway 13. That's heading 127. Let me see if that's true. No, it's 132.2. Okay, heading is set. And we don't have our altitude yet because we have to call for our clearance. So I'd say it's about time to go do that. So let me bring up the old craft clearance worksheet and we'll talk through it with ATC. So we know it's SUN to RDM.
Richie Papa Mike, exit left one able taxi to parking via Victor. If you're exiting a Golf there, you can just continue on Golf all the way to Victor to parking. Have a wonderful day.
Golf to Victor to park, and you have a great one too, Papa Mike. Thanks for your help.
Haley ground, good day. Phenom Jet November 6378, Mike on the ground here at Haley, looking to pick up our IFR to Redmond. I think it's a towered airport. I hope so.
6378, Mike. Haley ground, good afternoon. Clear to Redmond Airport. Aerial 3 departure, full transition is filed. Climb via 6 at maintain 6000. Expect flight level 3001, 0 minutes after departure. Salt Lake Center frequency 133.25, squawk 4133.
Cleared to the Redmond Airport. Oriole 3 departure, sold transition, then as filed. Climb maintain 16,000. Expect flight level 300, 10 minutes after departure. Departure with Salt Lake on 133.25, squawk 4133, Phenom, November 6378, Mike.
378, Mike, you're back correct.
Booyah! All right. Let's do our 4133. We'll do our transponder first. Click, boom, boom, boom. All right, we're set there. And let's set our initial altitude, 16,000. Good, we're set there. Let's get our Oriole departure plate up, the Aurelia 3 departure. The Aurelia 3 departure with sold transition. So we have our plate ready to go. And let's talk through that really quick. So we're expect takeoff runway 13, 13, climb direct AMOM, then climbing right turn direct Serpe, cross Serpe at or above 8400, thence on to the sold transition, RL3 sold. So that's RL3 to sold. We go 95, we climb 9500, sold, and then on to the Victor Airway. So we have RL sold, Victor 444 to Boise. Okay, we got our initial altitude set, we've got the ATIS set, we have our clearance set, we're squawking, which is what we should be doing. The next thing to do is to plug our flight plan, and we'll do that right now. Okay, turn system off, I'll turn the tablet off. You can see this, flight planning mode is all set. I'm gonna, nope, that's not right. FMS2, there we go. My trusty Octavi IFR1 that I'm using to do my G1000 inputs. Now in this case, I am going to, let's see, RL3 sold. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit menu, and that was dumb, no we're not. We're gonna hit proc, select departure. The RL3 sold transition, and we'll load that. Then, as it says, thence, sold, menu, load airway, and then we're going to load the Victor 444 with an exit at Boise, and load that. Why don't I get a little closer so you can see pretty unencumbered what we're looking at while I bump my damn microphone. Still working on where that should be placed. Anyway, there's a 444 to Boise, and then at that point we pick up the Victor 500 airway, load V500, and we're gonna come out at IMB, there we go, and then at the IMB VOR we pick up our last airway of the flight, which is the Victor 121 airway, and that exits at DSD. Our final destination will be, and I'm going to use the keyboard feature here. I'm going to hit this little tiny K and type KRDM. Redmond, enter, and enter Redmond. Hit escape, clear the keyboard function, and let's just review by ranging out. Okay, there's Serpe, Solde, Durso, Hexi. There's Boise. There's IMB. And there's DSD and Redmond. Looks right to me. Okay, we're all set there. And make sure we're on magenta needles. We are on magenta needles. That's good. And we're just going to up like that. And we're going to go ahead and also activate on PFD1. Or on the PFD, we're going to activate the flight plan there. Let's go ahead and throw in a couple of navs for our additional benefit here. Nav 21088. We're not seeing it. We have Boise set, but not HLE. All right, well, if that doesn't appear, we at least have the Boise VOR already set. So bearing pointers are up, wind data is up. We're squawking, altitude, flight plan is set, CDI is set to magenta needles as expected. We have our plate ready to go. Let's be sure that that's right. So Amom, Serpe, and then Solde. Let's see. And we're going to climb 16,000. So that's going to get us what we need to head out. All right, the next thing we're going to do, check airports, ATIS Haley Tower 125.6. We're going to plug that in the comms. It's ready to go. So we'll tell ground we're ready to taxi with information, Sierra. Haley ground, good day. Phenom number 6378, Mike with information, Sierra, ready to taxi IFR.
November 6378, Mike, Haley ground, runway 13, taxi via Bravo.
Runway 13, taxi via Bravo, 6378, Mike. Booyah. I'm gonna press the little buttons here, turn on our toga mode, and let's get taxiing. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze, isn't it? Why did I park all the way out here? The things we do for the love of a jet. Or because we're paid to. All right, let's make sure everybody's sitting down like they're supposed to sit down. And as we're on the go, we're going to press this button to check that we're
Takeoff. Okay.
properly configured for takeoff. We are. We didn't forget anything, so that's super cool. All right, we got a nice good view of 1-3. We can look off to our right and make sure that nobody's on the runway. That's good, they're not. We want to keep these windows or these shades here open. It's important that we have these open for takeoff and landing, and everybody can see what we're doing, and we can see a completely empty cabin and know that we have no passengers and this airline is completely bankrupt. All right, let's make sure everything is set. Once again, I think we're looking pretty good. We'll call Haley Tower 125.6. COM 1 is set. And then we're going to set departure frequency as we
November 648, air contact SoCal approach 128.1.
25, which is Salt Lake departure. All right. Haley Tower, Phenom number 6378, Mike, runway 13 at Bravo 1, ready for takeoff IFR.
Walker 3670, IFR cancellation, received squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Number 648, Sierra, SoCal approach, just maintain 7,000 for now, you do have Mike.
Check our fuel.
Number 48, Sierra, roger, just maintain 5,000, I expect that.
Good, we got plenty.
November 637A Mike, Haley Tower, runway 13, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 13, 6378 Mike. All right, let's go. Strobes up. Landing lights on.
Approaching runway 13.
Yeah, I heard.
Entered runway 13. 70.
Yep. Nothing about this is a surprise, computer. I like that it warns me a little bit. You know, just in case and everything. All right, so we got this displaced threshold here. You can't use it for landing, but you sure as heck can use it for taking off, which is exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, 225 is set, takeoff mode is set. We got the takeoff okay from the takeoff checker. Let's go ahead and go power all the way up to Toga. And we ride. All right, say goodbye to Sun Valley. Not going to be back here for a little while. Looking to rotate at 95, gear up, flaps up. $95, pull for 10 degrees.
For 6480, turn left, heading 090.
Okay, gear up, flaps up. And we are on the climb. Gear is up, flaps are up. We're bringing that back to cons climb. Keep those throttles alive. And we're just waiting to switch over to departure. Feeling pretty good. Look at these mountains on the side here. You can't fall asleep on the job here. Okay, right turn for Serpe. And as we approach 225 knots, we're going to go ahead and switch it to nav mode and then FLC mode, and that'll control our...
For 78 Mike, contact Salt Lake Center.
Contact Salt Lake Center, 6378 Mike. Alright, and we hit 225. FLC mode is engaged. AP is engaged. Make sure the yaw damper's on. It is. Good. We'll call Salt Lake. Salt Lake Center, Phenom Jet 6378 Mike, 9,000 feet, climbing to 16,000 feet.
For 6378 Mike, Salt Lake Center, idem.
Six 378 Mike, ident.
78 Mike, radar contact 5 miles south, Haley Airport, climb maintain flight level 230.
Roger, radar contact, climb maintain flight level 230, 6 378 Mike. Alright, cool, let's climb. Alright, so we're inbound Serpe. Let's go ahead and range in so you can see what we're doing here. So we're going to hit Serpe, then right turn Solde and continue to climb. We're clear to climb to 2,300, or excuse me, 23,000 feet. 2,300. Yeah, that's what a jet should be doing. And as we make that climb, we'll be making this turn. We'll be getting on the Victor 444 airway on the way to Boise. All right, landing lights are off, navs and strobes are on. Throttles are set for con climb. Speed brake is closed. Flaps are up, gear is up. No need for anti-ice. So far, so good. Next thing is when we cross 18,000 feet, that's transition altitude. We'll switch to standard barometer and continue the climb. Can't see me. Where am I? Within the mountains. No, there I am. Nice. That is one solid jet. I love this jet. It's a little over responsive on the turns though. So as we swing in here, we're not going to need as much of a maneuvering. So I'll go ahead and activate half bank mode. I'll click that. Boom, just like that. A little easier for the passengers. again, cleared to climb all the way up to flight level 230. So as
November 6480, turn left, heading 030.
as we head up to 18,000, I'll hit standard on my, oh, what is this thing now? IAS.
November 637, Mike, contact Salt Lake Center 128.72.
Contact Salt Lake Center 128.72, 6378 Mike. All right, we're through 18,000 on the way up, so I'll go ahead and go to PFD and select standard baro. There we go. And we'll talk to Salt Lake Center. Salt Lake Center, good day. Phenom Jet 6378 Mike, climbing out of flight level 193 for flight level 230.
November 637, Mike, Salt Lake Center, climb maintain flight level 300.
Climb, maintain, flight level 300, 6378 Mike. Boom. There we go. So, we want to climb at 225 knots or 0.60 Mach. And as we get up there, we'll transition into Mach numbers. But right now, the climb is good. 3,200 feet per minute. Delta P is 5.2 psi, cabin altitude 6,600. We're helped out a little bit by the fact that that Sun Valley is several thousands of feet in the air already, 5,000 feet plus. So we were already pressurized for that altitude. It's not as much Delta P, but it's good. You want to keep an eye on it. I haven't seen that the Phenom can climb so fast that it blows out its own cabin, but certainly when you use something like the TBM in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I've absolutely seen Delta P get high enough with a fast climb that it's worrisome.
November 648, maintain 3,000.
So far, so good, though. It's just one of these reasons. One of the other reasons that I just love this airplane so darn much. And since everybody there seems to be doing pretty good, I'll go ahead and close the curtain. There we go. Very nice. And I'll go ahead and let them take their seatbelts off and do whatever bizarro things that they do back there. I don't know. I'm just the pilot. All right, tablet up and let's take a look at what we're doing here. So we have completed the RL3 departure with sold transition now on the Victor 444 airway for Boise VOR. And as we are 4,000 feet away from our cruising altitude, we'll transition into cruise mode and we'll start to get our final speed established. And start to do our descent math for when we're going to have to start to come on down. Right? That's the next phase of flight. So taking a look around us here at what's, let me turn that tablet off. So what's happening with the weather situation? You got a little bit of buildup here, but none of this looks terribly bad. These aren't huge thunderheads or anything. Just some really pretty little fluffy little clouds, some Bob Ross clouds. And nothing to worry about. If we cut through them, it won't be for very long. We did see in the profile that there were cloud layers here, so if we're really worried about it, we can request either a higher or a lower altitude. And we can do that based on winds aloft forecast that we got. Right now we've got 28 knot headwind that's working against us and a 12 knot left to right crosswind. So I'm not going to do anything about changing our flight plan. That's not necessary. We don't expect that we're going to hit any buildup or anything like that. Just to check, we'll go ahead and fire up the old radar scope on the tablet here and see that there's a little bit of cloud precipitation around Oregon in the southern region. We're going to be north of that. It's probably not going to be headed our way. Though it might. Winds are variable and light at Redmond right now, but there could be winds aloft that are pushing those. I'll press the button and just take a look at how things have evolved here. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we might be ready for a little precipitation on the ground at Redmond, yes or no? Hard to say. We'll keep a watch on it, and as soon as we can get the ATIS and weather information, we will grab it and see if that helps us do some better decision making. All right, leveling off flight level 300,
right, clear to land.
And that's a 29 knot headwind. Speed's coming up. I'm going to go ahead and set speed selector to 0.74 Mach. I'll be satisfied with 0.73. That's fine. Bring the throttles back to max cruise.
Airport 291 Golf X-ray SoCal approach, Burbank altimeter 3001, plan on the visual approach, runway 8.
And we'll just let this Mach number crawl up to the bug right here, and as it does, I'll activate computer speed control, and that'll do minor adjustments to the engines to keep us at our indicated speed. It's not an auto throttle. It does something internally with the FADEC. I should probably read about it, but it does not alter your throttle power settings, and so it has limitations to what it can do.
1 Golf X-ray, roger, turn left, heading 260 vector, Silux.
I have found that it's pretty useful in just maintaining straight and level flight at high speed. Okay, on Durso, on Dancer, on Prancer. There's Mach 0.71 and rising. We're headed toward our Mach 7.3 point. Starting to get a little bit of a bump here. I'll go ahead and raise that to Mach 0.75. I don't see why that'd be a problem. Just rocking and rolling here. Oh yeah, definitely some bumps right now. Could be a little uncomfortable for the passengers. You see, look at those trails and how they're bumping around. So we're definitely getting a little bit of atmospheric excitement here. I'll go ahead and set CSC now at 0.74, and computer speed control will take over. You can see it right there. It says CSC, and it's making slight alterations to inputs to maintain that operating speed as best it can. If it can't do that, you'll see it flash LIM, indicating it's hit its limit of control, and you'll have to intervene with manual power settings. But so far, it's treated me pretty well. Alrighty. Well, let's do a little bit of looking ahead here. We want to kind of try to stay ahead of the aircraft the best we can. So if we scroll down all the way, we can look at Redmond waypoint weather. Now, right now it's local 419. (2119). Is that? Let me see. (2119). Excuse me for a second. Sometimes I gotta do it. So it's 9:19 p.m. Yeah, 2119. This just got broadcast. 000 knots. 10 statute miles of visibility, clear. 19 and 04 is the dew point. So weather looks good. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it too much. And we have our choice of runway, unless the tower tells us otherwise in the ATIS. But let's think about what we'd like to do. So I'll go ahead and pop the tablet up, and we'll take a look at approach considerations. So plates for Redmond. I will say I got a plethora of options. We can do anything that we want here. We're going to be approaching in from the northeast, east-northeast, so it's going to be something like 2-3 would probably be the best. So why don't we take a look at the ILS LOP 2-3. That starts from a lot of different places, including FLUS or let's see, DSD 22. How about the GPS 23 Yankee? That can start from Nifley. That's pretty good. Is Nifley on our way? Let's find out. The Jabot from IMB, so we're going to end up being north. There's Arnoy, Kupri. Nope, neither of those would work. Hey! Thanks very much. Hey Christian, good to see you. What else have we got? We got the RNPs we can't do. We're not authorized for that. The Juniper Visual runway 23. This one's interesting. Look at this. You're coming in over Highway 126 or Prineville. Deschutes is over there to the left. Weather minimum 6,400 feet ceiling and 8 miles visibility. That's no problem at all. Highway 370. Maybe that's the way to do it. Highway 370, Prineville. It's called the Juniper Visual because I guess of the juniper trees that are right here. Interesting. And then what's our incoming? We're on the Victor 121 to DSD. That's a 235. So where does Jabot fit into all this? That's my question. Let's try Fluss. Ah, there's Fluss right there. So what if we told them that we wanted to do the ILS 23 starting from Fluss and they can just guide us in? Now what would make sense? It's pretty close on the Victor 121 airway, so we'll be traveling in the correct direction. 9,000 would be the minimum altitude probably to cross at. So let's expect that we'll need to be 9,000 by IMB. I'm just doing a little descent math here, so why don't we work this out together? So at IMB, let's say we want to be 9,000 feet. So I'm just going to dial that on the widget here. And it tells us the top of descent will be 14 minutes from now if we want to come down at 2.5 degrees. I want to stay up here for a little bit longer though, so I'm going to go ahead. Let me show you what I'm doing. I always... There we go. So this is all based on descent math that presumes a 2.5 degree down angle, which is going to translate to about 1,900 feet per minute. But if I want to descend a little bit faster than that, I'm not worried about it for the passengers. I can set it to 3.0 degrees and the top of descent becomes 1524. 2.5 seems okay to me though, and I don't mind only being up here for about 13 minutes before we have to descend. We're actually making pretty good time as it is. We're about to cross Boise, B-O-I. We're just 10 miles away from that VOR. So speaking of which, we should go ahead and set up the Kimberly VOR in 115.6. There we go. IMB is set up. Kimberly VOR now 174 nautical miles that away, which is good. That's what we would expect. And we're about 13 minutes from the top of our descent to come on down. All right, so let's go over what we've asked for at this point. We want 9,000 by IMB. We want the ILS 23 KRDM at Fluss. What else do we got? We got any NOTAMs? We do. There's 2 NOTAMs. Check this out. Runway 23 precision approach indicator out of service and approach lighting system not standard expiration estimated. Is that any of that going to bother us? No, we have clear skies. It's daytime, so I'm okay to continue. Category C is allowed on this approach, so SLILS 3267 are our minimums. Sounds pretty good to me. And here we are on the Victor 500 airway, so let's just continue. Let's make a fuel check. We've used almost 300 kilograms. There's 619 kilograms left. I'll just translate that into pounds by looking at my tablet. I have 362 pounds left. And we started with 2,000. So we burned 700. So we got about... How much are we expecting to burn on the rest of the way here? We're going to be 36 minutes inbound. Why don't we call it an hour? So let's see, the kilograms, we're burning a total of we're burning a total of about 520. We got 611 left, so we can go an hour, no problem. Even if it's 36 minutes to the destination, another 15, that'll be 50 minutes. It gives us 10 minutes reserves, and it's a clear day, so we shouldn't have any problem. I know that's rough math, but it's the stuff that I do. Beautiful day. We've set up our navs. Let's see if we can pull the weather. How close are we? It's probably pretty unlikely that we can hear any weather at Redmond, but we'll try. 119025. Nope. Nothing. Let's try Grant County Regional. 19375. Nope. Baker City, 134275. Now I'm getting suspicious. Why can't I hear anything? What about Boise, where we just left? 123.9.
Way 10 left. Visual approaches in use.
Okay.
VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading.
So clearly we can hear weather from somewhere. We just can't hear it from our field right now. So why don't we take another look and see if we've received any other METARs. Last one came in 32 minutes ago. 330 at 5, 10 statute miles clear, 1904 altimeter 3006. Okay, I still feel pretty good about runway 23. Why don't we just do a little bit of math in the old E6B real quick. Wind direction is 330. Wind speed is 5 knots. Oops, no. Wind direction 330. 5 knots. Runway number 23. That's a right crosswind of 5 knots. So it's a direct crosswind, but I can live with that. All right. Ground speed's pretty good, 433 knots. I'm pretty happy with that. You can look out, you can kind of see how the various cloud structures are either letting sunlight through or not. You got your big blobs of shadow and light down there. It's a long way down.
Range 407, Capital Ground, runway 17, right taxi via Whiskey Alpha.
This is God's country. All right, we're coming up on some clouds here. At this point, I think it's not really that important to boot up anti-icing systems. We're only going to be there for a minute. We haven't received any pilot reports of icing in the area, so we're not flying into known icing. We're just flying into clouds. That's a different thing. All right, the Kimberly VOR is going to be our next turn. 126 miles away. We're going 433 knots, so 126 times 3 is about 360, plus another 126 is 480, so a little over. You divide 60 by 3.5, divide 60 by 3 is 20 minutes. Divide 60 by 4 is 15, halfway between 20 and 15 to 17 and a half minutes. That's how long it's going to take us. What's our descent math looking like? Because I'm thinking that we might be have blown past it. Nope, top of descent is 5 minutes and 43 seconds. But it does tell me that I should have been paying attention to that timer or set a timer for myself or done something. Because I didn't. Nice. Yep, we're in the middle of a cloud now. Watching the breeze. On the star. Let's get some music in here. Getting a little bumpy in here. Hit that heading bug, sync that up. I guess I lost the music. I was using Pretzel, but it's not responding. That's too bad. Hope you're still with me on the stream here, wherever you are. Stream quality is good and frames look good. Everything looks okay. So we will continue. 3 minutes to top of descent here, and I'd say it's a beautiful day, but it doesn't really look like it, does it? Why don't we take a look outside, take a look at our wing, and see if that we can see any concerns about icing. Right now, there isn't a problem. Getting a little bit of that wing flex as we kind of bump up and down just a touch. A little bumpy while we're in there. But no real concerns. Not seeing anything show up on the windshield. Everything's still pretty copacetic. Total distance to IMB now is just about 100 miles. Looks like 95. And we're going 400 knots, so one quarter of an hour, just a little under that. Maybe 13 minutes or so until we cross the Kimberley VOR. And we'll be on our way down by then for sure. Haven't heard anything from center in a little while. I'm interested what's going on with that. They're going to hand us off to Seattle Center at some point.
Spirit Wings 407, Capital Tower, runway 17, cleared for takeoff.
ILS Loc starting at Fluss. I'm telling you. It's a little different, this life in the clouds. I'll go ahead and change my VNV profile to 3-degree down angle. Top of descent now, 2.5 minutes. Be sure that's right. We want to be at IMB by 9,000, or we want to be at IMB, cross IMB at 9,000. Yeah, it's going to take 2 minutes until top of descent, and then we're going to come down at 3 degrees. It'll be a fairly steep descent in order to do that, but it's all right. It'll all be within speed. Checking my numbers, we want to descend at either Mach 0.75 or 250 knots. It's got to be under 250 if we're below 10,000 feet. So. Salt Lake Center, Phenom jet number 6378, Mike.
78 Mike, go ahead.
78 Mike, if possible, we'd like to start our descent here in the next 1 or 2 minutes, if you can get that for us.
78 Mike, no problem. Descend at pilot's discretion, maintain flight level 240.
Descend, pilot's discretion, maintain flight level 240, 6378 Mike, thank you. Cool.
Spirit Wings 407, contact departure.
So what we'll do here is we're 49 seconds from our vertical track of 3 degrees to eventually reach 9,000 by flush. So I'll go ahead and activate VNV mode. VPath is going to pick this up, and we'll come down at that feet per minute, but we're going to limit it to coming down to 24,000, just so that we don't accidentally blow the altitude that we've been assigned. So.
Spirit Wings 407, NorCal departure.
25 seconds. It should automatically start to come down. What we're going to do is, in preparation for that, we're going to disengage the CSC mode, and we'll use manual power control as we establish our descent, and then I'll reset the CSC to hold us at about 0.75 Mach as we come on down. Okay, you can see this vertical track is starting to come down. I'll go ahead and kill CSC mode. Nose is coming down. And we'll bring that thrust setting down. We'll bring the power setting on the throttle down. Make sure that it doesn't run away with us. And one thing I forgot to do, and they'll never let me forget it, is I got to put the seatbelt sign back on, because we're on our initial descent into the Redmond area, even though it's going to take us a long time to get there. All right, now that we have direct power control, I'm going to go ahead and weasel the throttles around a little bit until I can get us to about 0.75 Mach. You see that now that we've come out of
November 637, AMI, contact Seattle Center 121.4.
Contact Seattle Center 121.4, 6378 Mike. All right, we're coming down, and we're coming down fast. Not quite sure why that is, but I guess we are. Seattle Center, Phenom jet number 6378 Mike is out of flight level 270, descending flight level 240.
November 637 Mike, Seattle Center, hello, descend pilot's discretion, maintain 9,000 and the Redmond altimeter 3006.
Descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 9,000, and thank you for 3006. We're ready for the approach request if you take it.
Yeah, I'm ready, go ahead.
6378 Mike would like the ILS runway 23 into Roberts Field starting at waypoint Fluss, and this will be a full stop.
78 Mike, roger. Spirit Range 407, contact Oakland Center 132.2.
So now at this point, we've set our bug down to 9,000 because we're cleared to descend that down to that altitude. I'm going to go ahead and keep my throttles up a little higher than this. We want to get down to below 250 knots indicated as we cross 10,000 feet. But while we're up here, we can fly as fast as we reasonably want to. And now that 9,000 is set, we'll just recheck our FMS and make sure what we're doing here is 9,000 by IMB. That's completely fine. What we want to do now is we want to plug in the proc for the ILS 23. Okay, so we'll select approach. The ILS 23 starting at FLUS. And we'll set minimums. We know that we're 3267. It's going to take a minute to spin this thing.
Flight level 190 on the Foothill 3.
Wings 407,
3270.
Center, maintain flight level 230.
And we're loaded.
Maintain flight level 230, Spirit Wings 407.
Take a look at the FMS real quick here, and then there is approach KRM, FLUS at 46, Yubub, Hutkey, Vern. Why don't we review this together? FLUS, Yubub, Hutkey, Vern, runway 23. And if we have to go missed, that's climb to 3,700 feet, then climbing right turn to 7,000 on the heading 320, and intercept DSD Vortec 348 to Capri, and hold at Capri. There's Capri, and so that's going to be a parallel entry. Looks like right turns 168 inbound. Okay, we're descending, continue our descent now. The next thing we're going to have to do is prep to come back through transition altitude. I've already prepped 3006, and the widget up here is a little bit of a cheat code. As we cross down through 18,000 feet, we will plug in 3006 into the barometer here, and then those will agree, and we'll be ready to to descend lower. We'd also be very smart, I think, at this point to see if we could pick up Redmond weather again, 119025. Still nothing. Ooh. Ooh. What was that? I thought I heard something. Darn it.
Run.
Oh, it's some kind of a
Wings 407,
quirk.
contact Oakland Center 132.9.
I assume it's just we're still out of range. We're, as the crow flies, 100 nautical miles, and I assume that there's terrain between us. There is. It's bumpy. It's
November 78 Mike, clear direct FLUS.
clear direct FLUS, 6378 Mike. Sweet. We're cleared direct to the IAF of the procedure, so let's do this button. Direct to FLUS. Activate. Alright. And we'll go on our tablet. We'll go procedure, approach. Oh. And you know what happened? Look what happened here. Let's turn the tablet off for a sec. We'll get to that. So you see what happened here?
407.
This
Flight level 208.
destroyed our VNAV. So let's quickly flight plan.
Spirit Wings 407, Oakland Center, climb maintain flight level 350.
Climb maintain flight level 350.
99 VNV direct. To 9,000. 9,000 at FLUS. VNV direct. There we go. And now we're reestablishing the vertical path to get to FLUS at 9,000. And the next thing we got to do here is PFD and turn off standard baro. And set the baro to 3006. 3006 is set. V path is set. We're coming down, really, an FPA of 1.3. That is a shallow descent. More power. Ground speeds dropped to 310 knots. It's going to take us a minute to get there. Let's get back to our tablet. So ILS runway 23 starting at FLUS. Category C, it's a straight-in ILS. Add to route and We're going to remove that.
Destination ATIS is 1.
Yep, thanks. And direct to Fluss. There we go. On our way down. Going for Fluss. A nice gentle descent. Maybe the gentlest descent you're ever going to see. 760 feet per minute. Yawn. There we go. And of course, by loading the approach and going direct Fluss, it blew away our localizers. They're both set to 1091, which is the ILS. Did you get rid of this radar crap? Yeah, that's the localizer. So it's wonderful. I'm going to keep that on nav 1, but nav 2 I'd like to use the Deschutes VOR just as a secondary reference point, 117.6. And Deschutes. There we go. And as we come down, let's see if we can take another crack at that weather. One 19. I'm not having any luck with gathering that weather today, like not even a little bit. So down we come anyhow. We've got 3006 set on both barrows. Speed is speed's over 250, but we're still above 10,000 feet, so we know that has to come down as we approach 10,000 feet. So we'll be watching for that speed. I'll reset the bug to 250 here in just a minute. We should hit that 750 a minute. Let's call it 1,000 a minute. We're going to hit that in 5 minutes. So. All right, let's do FMS2 and take a look and see if there's any new weather at Redmond. Nope, nothing that came through on METARs. I'll check here on my tablet. 53 minutes ago, no new weather report since the last one. So I've got the weather station plugged in. I got the ATIS for Redmond plugged in here, so it'll just pop up whenever we get close enough. I'm okay with that. We're under most of the crap now, so we're not going to need anti-ice. Outside air temperature is -7, but the ISA is +7, so it's atmospherically it's a warmer day than usual. So we shouldn't expect any icing problems on our way down. As you can see, the terrain is kind of interesting. I'm actually... Oh! Hey! That's what I'm talking about. Well, that's interesting. So they're saying runway 05. Now what would that look like if we were to do that? 05 is that way, right? And we're coming in this way. So what would we do? Well, typically operations are left pattern, so we would deflect. If we were going to circle, we would deflect to the right and left pattern. TPA would be about 4,100. But we will check real quick. If I go and hide this plate, bloop, and I switch to VFR, bleep. It doesn't say RP this, RP that.
Number 7-8 Mike, cross Fluss at 9,000, cleared RNAV runway 23, correction, ILS runway 23 approach.
Cross Plus at 9,000, cleared the ILS runway 23 into Redmond, 670 Mike. Okay, we are golden. So let's see, tablet off, FMS1, flight plan, ding, procedure, activate approach. Watch this. Let's see if it blows our V path again. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We're fine. We're still in en route mode, and it probably isn't even necessary to hit activate approach. As a matter of fact, I've got some instructors that tell me to never press that button, but I do it anyway. All right, so we've got the weather and information hotel. We know that if we have to deflect, if we have to circle runway 05, we're going to probably be asked to enter left traffic. So we'll do that at TPA 4,100 feet. And we're fine circling if that's what we're asked to do. If we're given the option, I'm going to go straight in runway 23. Circling minimums are 3640. So 3640 and a half. Can we do it? Given that it's a clear day, yeah, I think we can do it. Now we're at we're at 12,000 feet coming down. As we cross 10,000 feet, we got to be below 250 knots indicated, so that's the next thing I'm going to set up for. We're going to turn our speed selectors down to 250, and we're also going to do a little bit of helpful computer math here. We got 829 pounds of fuel left, so we'll check our systems here. We've used 543 kilograms, 375 to go. We're burning about 500, and we have 370, so we've got less than an hour's fuel. But we expect to be on the ground in 10 minutes. So, is that right? I guess so. So I think fuel-wise we're fine. So V-speeds, we're going to go and compute for 3 of flaps, compute landing V-speeds, send those to the tablet. VREF is 100 knots. That means we're going to fly our approach at 130 knots. VREF times 1.3, if you've heard that math before. All right, FMS2. There's Fluss, Yubub, and Huckty. So let's go ahead back to IFR low. And show plate. All right, so cross plus 9,000, then 71 to Yubub, then 5,600 to Huckty, and then 5,100 to Vern. Vern is where we intercept the glide slope. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start to bring the power setting back. All right, speeds are coming down. We want to make sure we're down below 250 knots before we cross 10,000 feet coming down. And Fluss is the IAF, so when we are 3 minutes away from Fluss, which is getting kind of close, we want to start thinking about setting our approach speeds up. So approach speeds are 130. We're going to have to do this in stages. As we slow down, we're going to go ahead and let a little bit of speed bleed off. We want to make sure that we are above VLE or below VLE when we extend the landing gear. We'll do that first. So at below 250. There's 250 right now. Okay, so we're set to go below 10,000. Then 250, we'll bring the gear down. That'll start to bleed some speed off and increase drag. We can then bring the first flaps down at 180. We're going to fly flaps 1 at 130 knots for our approach. We're going to use gear, and we're going to use flaps to increase drag and lower our speed without having to dump the throttles too hard. Give the engines some time to cool down. We're not going to need the speed brake. We're not doing anything crazy like that. All right. Welcome to Flavor Country. Speed's just exactly 250 and coming down to 9,000 feet. We're just about to cross 10,000 coming down. Ground speed 282. It's weird, I don't know why it does that. Reset that track. Alrighty. Get our landing lights on. Give the passengers a little upwash. Not going to need anti-ice. Everything else looks good. Altitude 6,600 feet. Field elevation is 3,082. Delta P is 1.2 psi. That's good. Just about to hit 9,000 feet where we're going to stabilize out until we cross Fluss. When about 5 miles from Fluss, I'll start to bring the gear down, then gear down, and then flaps 1. Below 180, and we'll fly the approach at 130 knots. Now at this point, we are 26 miles from the field, should be at our 1 o'clock. Or our 11 o'clock. Maybe our 10. Do we see it? No. Where do we think it is? I think it's in there, because remember there are these peaks that were in the visual approach guide. So I suspect we can't see it yet, but that's okay. All right, evening out 9,000 feet and going into altitude hold mode, 250. This is a good moment, so we'll go ahead and bring the throttles down just a little bit more. There, below 250, go ahead and go gear down. Those gears don't mess around, they come down quick. Okay, lower in speed, I'm going to go ahead and turn half bank mode off. Everybody's all buckled in, so that's not a problem. At 180, we're going to bring down flaps 1. Once we cross Fluss, our next altitude is 7,100. 7,100 is set. Below 180, flaps to 1. And AP VS mode activated. Down we come. Again, we're looking for a speed of 130 knots. I'll go ahead and VPath. VPath will reach us at Yubub right as we cross. Yubub now 5.2 miles, speeds at 140, coming down to 130. We're on final approach course now of 226. We'll go ahead and pop up the tablet so you can see that. And speed's 134, that's looking good. Configuration is good, flaps 1, gear down. Approaching 130 knots. Just goose the power just to try to keep us right there. Set the bug for 130 just so we can remind ourselves what we're doing. There we go. Okay, bring that throttle back down. Don't go over speed. And we'll compute the landing V speeds one more time. VREF 100 knots. Yep, all still checks out. Coming down to 7,100 for Yubub, and then next is Hookty at 5,600. And looking at the tablet here, Yubub is 4 plus 4.5, 9, 15. It's about 15 to the east of the field. 15 to the northeast of the field. Do you think we can see anything yet? I doubt it. Kind of hazy. That might be it right there. I think these are the juniper trees. It's a gigantic field of juniper. This is going to be interesting. Remember the visual approach? Let me show you. See here? Look at all the juniper trees. And it's supposed to be...
6378 Mike, report your effort cancellation or missed approach in the air this frequency or on the ground 122.2, change to advisory frequency approved.
Roger, change to advisory approved. 6378 Mike, we'd like to cancel IFR at this time.
78 Mike, IFR cancellation received, squawk VFR frequency change approved.
Squawk and VFR frequency change approved. Thanks for the help today, 78 Mike. Anyway, as I was saying, the Juniper visual has these juniper trees we use for a visual reference here, and so that might be them bounded by the highways. Not sure, but we are heading in the right direction. Yep, up to Hookty now, so we're going to come down to, because I should have been looking at what I was frickin' doing, 5600 to Hookty? 5600 to Hookty. BS mode, down we go, and drop that thrust on the throttle so we don't go over speed, and on our way down to Hookty, 2.8 nautical miles. And at Hookty we'll be 4 plus about 10 miles to the northeast. We'll tell them we're on a straight in 2-3, and we're going a little fast, so let's go ahead and bring that speed down, or bring that throttle down. Redmond Tower 124.5, should have probably had that ready to go as well. Okay, let me turn that tablet off. You've already seen enough of that. Redmond traffic, Phenom number 6378 Mike is 10 to the northeast on the straight in runway 23 full stop Redmond. All right, we're about to cross 56. We're about to hit 5600 and cross Hookty. Next altitude is 5,100 feet. Hookty now in 0.3 miles. We're crossing now. And we've crossed. BS now. We'll come down at 1,200 feet per minute and we'll get ready to intercept the glide slope. We'll go ahead and fire up the approach mode there. BS minus 1,200, alts and GS are armed. 130 knots coming down. Green needles, localizer looks good. There it is, I got the field in sight. Look at all these trees. That's what they're talking about. Those are the juniper trees and the juniper approach. So this is kind of neat. It's all coming together. I'll go ahead and use a coupled approach, and we'll go ahead and fly all the way down on the glide slope, just to keep our instrument practice in shape. We'll be on the ground in about 5 minutes. Our landing checks, landing lights, gear 3 greens, flaps 1. We'll go flaps 30 after we get on the glide path, or on the glide slope. Excuse me. Engine instruments look good. All instruments look good. Cabin altitude is coming down. That's good. We got 00 delta PSI. Field elevation is 3,000, I believe. Yep, 3,100. LFE is set. Everybody's got the seatbelts fastened. Landing checks complete. Let's go home. Activate the ILS here on this secondary instrument. All right, glide slope capture. Down we come. And we can safely go ahead and get ourselves down to full flaps. So we're going to go boom, 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 just like that. And we'll fly this at 110. I'll aim for VREF plus 10. That is a lot of trees. Yep. Redmond traffic, Phenom number 6378 Max on a 5-mile final runway 23 full stop Redmond. Let's make it happen, folks. You can see the fuel. The fuel is into the yellow zone here because we don't have enough to sustain. We have under an hour. In fact, it's probably under 45 minutes. That might be why it's doing that. That's fine. We knew a little something about what we were doing. How much do we still have? 602 pounds. Yeah, see. If I didn't bump it up to 200 or to 2,000 pounds, we'd have about 100 pounds left by now, and that is not very much.
2 mile final runway 23.
Minimum's at 3270, and the field elevation is just about 3100, so radar altimeter showing 850 feet. I'll take it manual at 500 feet over the above the ground. Speed's pretty good. It's VREF plus 12. Expecting wind calm. 0-0 on the wind bugs. On the Windex.
500.
There's 500.
500.
Autopilot.
Manual. And disengage yaw damper. And down we come.
400.
Uh-huh. Aim point's good. Speed's good.
300.
Adjusting the rudder just a little bit. VREF plus 10.
200.
Throttle to idle.
100.
And we're down. Flaps up. And we'll go over to B2 here. I probably could have braked a lot more aggressively. I'm just not sure where these taxiways were. Well, anyway. Alright, taxi lights. And flaps are up. Redmond traffic, Phenom over 6 or 7 mics, clear runway 23 taxi parking, Redmond. Wonder if they'd let me squeeze in there with those guys. Probably not. Keep that nose wheel on the yellow line, my friend. What do you want to? You want to lose your license? Whoa! Spending too much time looking down at that chart there. And we're gonna go ahead and scoot down on Bravo here. Whoa. Leaning a little bit here. Look out. That's a cool mountain in the distance. I wonder what that is. Holy crap, that's big. I'm pointing northwest of here. Mount what? Help me out. Right. Now, who's got a big enough hangar for this guy? Who's bad enough to do all that? Me, man. I kick my own ass twice a day. It says executive hangar to me. Little known fact, if you got a cool enough plane, you can just park in anybody's hangar. They'll be like, cool plane, where'd you get it? Nice. Ooh-wee. Oh, you know, I should have opened that cabin up. I'm sorry, everybody. Hey, we're real people. We were in here and we just got you home. Hope that's okay with you. All right. Fun stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and get a couple of things taken care of here. Engine ignition's off. Stop the right engine. Right engine is coming offline. Bleeds are off. Cross bleed is off. Go ahead and turn this to vent. Fans to low. Left engine to stop. Generator's off. Battery 2's off. Pull the oxygen. Parking brake is good there. Hydraulic pumps are off. Cross-feed pumps are off. There you go, folks. You can take off your seatbelts, move around the cabin here as we close down and let these hot elements cool off. We'll go ahead and pop open the doors and the baggage compartments and all that other crap. There you go, looking pretty good. I like the look of that. Very nice. Let's see, what else are we missing here? Off, 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 stop, stop, stop. De-icing off, pumps off. ELT is, yep, ped bends, yes, pneumatic bleed, battery, oxygen cutout is off. Parking brake is on. Static elements. Chocks, cones, all that other good stuff. Oh, fantastic. Grab my tablet and let's get out of here. We got a steak to go eat. All right, everybody. Well, it was good to hang out with you. That was a fun flight, good landing, fun weather, nice time to fly, and happy to be with you here in Redmond Field in Oregon. Just to give a sense of what we did here. We flew. Here we go. Flew from Sun Valley and climbed up to 30,000 feet, picked up the V444 airway to Boise, and then took a left turn here. And as we approached the Kimberly intersection, we began our descent. We came down to about 9,000 by the Kimberly intersection. We crossed, we picked up the ILS 23 for Redmond Field, straight in. 9,000 at Fluss, grabbed the ILS glide slope and localizer, came on down and planted for a 2-3 landing. Nice taxi in, and still had about 500 pounds of fuel left. So I'm keeping a pretty strong reserve until I feel really good about understanding the fuel burn on this thing. But overall, it was good. Not a whole lot of mistakes, not a whole lot of notes. Felt like a good flight. So thanks for flying with me today, and happy to be with you. We'll catch you next time, and hope you all have a great weekend. Bye bye.